Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Kelly Smith. I am the Wellness Works Programs Manager, and I want to welcome you to our annual breast cancer luncheon. Each year, the Wellness Work Program hosts an annual breast cancer luncheon to celebrate the City of Cleveland employees who are breast cancer survivors. We also bring awareness to the importance of early screening and early detection. We have a lot of special guests today and some beautiful speakers today, and we're really excited for our program. But first, we have our 58th Mayor, Justin M. Bibb, here to speak.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Let's give Kelly a round of applause for organizing this amazing event. She does such a good job to make sure we prioritize wellness all across the city of Cleveland. But also, I want to give you a round of applause for looking so good in pink today. You know, every 2 minutes across this country, a woman is diagnosed with breast cancer. And it is so important that we acknowledge how critical it is that we prioritize the health and well-being of our women, but we also raise awareness on the impact that breast cancer has, not just across Cleveland, but across the nation. So I want to just thank everybody for their commitment to this initiative, your commitment to spreading the awareness of this critical issue, and also want to just acknowledge, now I love our men at City Hall, but I want to just take this moment as your mayor to recognize the amazing women who are working around the clock to serve our residents across the city of Cleveland. So thank you for your hard work. I appreciate it. So enjoy the lunch. As you know, I got a busy schedule. I wish I could stay, but enjoy the lunch, and I look forward to spreading the awareness, not just today, but every single day across the great city of Cleveland. God bless you all. I love you so much. Thanks.
Thank you, Mayor, for coming out. Also, we have one more special guest out here. We have a new director in the Department of Human Resource, Matthew Crow. Can you please stand? So our new director has been here maybe about a little bit of over a month. And so if you get a chance, stop by and say hello to him and introduce yourself. He's very friendly. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna actually start bringing you guys up for lunch, because we wanna actually have you start eating your lunch while we have our guest speakers come up. So give us a few minutes. We're gonna start calling you up by tables to serve you, and then we'll get into the program, okay? Hello, everyone. We're going to bring up our first speaker. We have Betty Sullivan from Court. Come on up.
As a Toastmaster would say, you can continue to eat quietly. Good afternoon. Acknowledging the 58th Mayor of the Cleveland Municipality, a city designated as a global city, the Honorable Justin Bibbs, who had such a busy schedule, but he did take time to welcome us, and I thank him for that. Greetings to Patty Mastroni, the Wellness Work Program Assistant, and Kelly Smith, Human Resource Administrator, for this invite to honor and celebrate survivors during Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Congratulations to all my fellow survivors in attendance. Special thanks to family Marsafo, and a special thanks to my friends and to Judge Ann Okar and colleagues from Cleveland Municipal Court. Namely Stephanie Pope Early and Phyllis Braun, who I am going to choke the very breath out of them as soon as this luncheon's over. I'm just kidding, Jojo Okar, no assault charges. Truly, I'm humbled, Stephanie, by both you and Phyllis and Flash, that you thought enough of me to nominate me, because your view that I am like the Rock of Gibraltar. Now, Kelly, where did you disappear? Can I go and sit down now? There's an ancient proverb that says, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with that first step. My journey began with the acceptance of the diagnosis that I had stage 4 breast cancer, which I detected it myself. Thank goodness I was a self-checker. What about you? After acceptance of the diagnosis, I knew it would alter my direction momentarily with some twists and some turns on my road of life. As we all have heard, don't judge a book by its cover. For all who are stricken with cancer, our covers may be titled Cancer, but the pages of our book reads differently. But we all share one thing in common: courage to endure when we don't know what the end will be. Courage to stand and fight. I remember when I received a call from my doctor, the radiologist. Her name is still etched in my brains, that my results were positive. I started clapping and thanking the Almighty and thanking her for the results. You know what? That's how naive I was. I thought positive meant I was good to go on to living my life. My bubble was instantly burst when she said, "Bet, positive means you have breast cancer, and it's stage 4. My husband, the late Reverend Stephen Douglas Sullivan, Flash, demanded, "Pack your bags, you're going with me." He was scheduled to be the guest to preach a 3-day revival church service out of town. Trust me, number one, I didn't like him telling me what to do. And number two, I wasn't feeling churchy, and Lord knows I wasn't thinking about Cleveland Municipal Court either. But as I was packing my bags, I asked him a question. "Why me, Rev?" And here he goes. "Why not you?" With all stately self. And then he had the audacity to quote Gandhi to me, and I won't forget it. It says, "Strength does not come from the physical capacity, it comes from an indomitable will." I had so many emotions about anxieties of the what, depression about the why, social relationships about the body image. This major twist, as my brief bio states, came in September 2000. It blindsided and sidelined me from the lumpectomy surgical scars, the drainage tube, chemotherapy weakness, radiation burning, and a tamoxifen regimen. But I got to be honest, I didn't pay that tamoxifen regimen any attention. I did not complete it. Don't do what I did. No matter how much I tried to educate myself within a week before my surgery by reading medical materials, inspirational stories, reflecting on my sister who had gone through it twice at early ages of 27 and 32 to have her both breasts removed. And her screams, I still hear them today if I think hard, were so heart-wrenching, and her losing her hair did not prepare me for my unwanted journey. One of my greatest fears was to lose my hair, which shaving the head to baldness was not the style of the day, Stephanie. The preacher, my husband, the theologian, when I started commenting about my hair thinning, the insatiable metallic taste, and feeling like a wet rag, he reminded me, boo-boo, we prayed you wouldn't lose your hair, not about the thinning and everything else. He had sympathy, but he didn't have no empathy, judged because he wasn't going through it. It was me. It was at that moment I was determined not to let it devour me or defeat me like Cassius Clay, known to us as Muhammad Ali did to Sonny Liston. It ignited a great determination that even scared back, to be a shining example that would inspire, encourage others, no matter what you're going through, even broken crayons still can color. If I can help somebody as I travel along this way, then my living shall not be in vain. Yes, even helping my mother when she was diagnosed and survived breast cancer at 85 years young. She lived to be 95 years old until her death, when she left me June 29th, but she left cancer-free. I continue even today to be a self-checker. Life then took another hard turn when I thought I had it somewhat together. I thought I was fine as wine and cancer-free. But then in October 2017, diagnosed with ductal carcinoma of the left breast that strickens 1% to 2% male or females. All I could do was be determined not to waste energy on reverence, anger, self-pity, fear, resentment, or even my tears. My surgery with reconstruction happened on October the 18th of that year. That was the best decision, Phyllis, that I could ever make. Not only celebrating my birthday of when I was born, Deidre, to life, but celebrating my beginning to defeat cancer once again. When we major in the is, we'll never experience the is. I said when we major in the is, we will never experience the is. Of course, after the surgery, the process of healing took its course. No chemotherapy or radiation treatment, but all the other things that goes along with healing after reconstruction of the breast. Cancer touched my boob, but ultimately I kicked it right in the butt. Every ugly scar, every keloid, every sensitive spot is just my reminder that I'm still here. So if anyone sees my scar, my keloid when I show a little cleavage, not today, it's my testament of another miracle. Many people carry scars that you can't see or comprehend. These scars I carry is my flag that I didn't lose the battle, but the war still must be won against cancer. Y'all will catch that when y'all go back to work. I read a story a few days ago about a 6th grade Sunday school teacher who held up a picture of people sleeping under pieces of cardboard in a dim alley. She asked her class, what did they need? Someone said food. Another child said money. A safe place, a boy thoughtfully said. Then one girl said hope. And I today stand to say hope. Hope, because my hope is built on nothing less than Jesus' blood and righteousness. I dare not trust the sweetest strain, but wholly lean on Jesus' name. On Christ, a solid rock I stand. On Christ, a solid rock I stand. All other ground is seeking sand. And you know what, y'all? Even though I'm from southwestern Pennsylvania, I just want to set the record straight. I like the Browns, but you know what? I'm in love with the Steelers.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Miss Batty. That was a wonderful, wonderful speech. Very uplifting. Yes. Now, for our second guest speaker, I'm going to introduce Miss Patrina Patterson from University Hospitals.
Good afternoon. How can I come behind my sister with clinical stuff? Because I'm about ready to go to church and just sing the whole hymn for you. But I have to remember that I'm in City Hall in the Rotunda, and not at Elizabeth Baptist, because that is one of my favorite hymns that I generally sing to my mother, who's 90 years old. It's also her favorite hymn, and she knows all 15 verses of it. By heart, it's not 15, but it's a long song. It's a long song. So first, I would like to thank Mayor Bibb of this great city of Cleveland for giving us a welcome today, taking the time out, and it was wonderful to see him and that he cares that much about you all that work here at Cleveland, at the city of Cleveland. So let's give him another round of applause. The Wellness Works Committee in HR understand you have a new director of about a month, so I would like to recommend now, as you're starting to look at your budget for next year, that Patty and Kelly both get a raise. Let's give them a hand for what they do. I just thought I'd put it out there. Because see, I don't have to stay here and work. I go back to UH, but I thought I'd let you know that they've done a wonderful job over the years. I've been humbled and blessed to be the clinical speaker for about 5 or 6 years at this same event. So I love that in them, but I'm very humbled that they would keep calling me back. So they definitely deserve a couple more cents on that dollar. I would also like to say greetings and thank our judges who are here, our other administrators who are here, and also any council people. I'd like to recognize you and thank you for the opportunity today. One thing that I see at the end of Patty's and Kelly's signature on your emails is so true. It says a healthy you plus a healthy city equals a healthy Cleveland. And that is true, because not every employee will let you take time off, feed you, and give you all this wonderful pink things because they don't have to. And they can say that it's not in the budget. So what does equal a healthy city? Because if you're healthy, then your loved ones are healthy, the people that you touch are healthy, and then also your coworkers are healthy. I almost said give me an amen, but I forgot where I was at. See, she got me started. Don't give a preacher a microphone. But I'm gonna be good. I'm gonna be good so you can get your raises, so I'm gonna stay on time. So what is breast cancer? Most of us know what breast cancer is. Just a few statistics for you, that there's 15 different types of breast cancers. So you cannot always compare your breast cancer to someone else's, or why did she die at this age and why did she live 24 years afterwards. It's all about the pathology report. So because of that, that's why you see survivors who are 6 months and survivors who are 35 years. So try not to compare those apples and oranges. We don't know why. It's in the gene pool. If we did, then I would not be coming back every year to talk about it. We all are a risk factor, men and women, but especially women because you are women. That's the biggest risk factor that you have. 80% of the cancers that we find are not hereditary. So that leaves a smaller number. Only 20% of the cancers that we find are hereditary. So please do not sit back and say, well, we don't have any breast cancer in the family. I don't feel like having that test today. I'm not going to have it this year. I can skip a couple of years. The history may start with you, because history has to start somewhere. So women, you need to protect yourselves. You need to have your mammogram starting at age 40. I don't know why all the institutions and the NCI, the American Cancer Society, why we all can't get on the same page. But at University Hospital, we never fail to say at age 40, you need to get your mammogram every single year, not starting at age 50. The other thing that I always talk about is if you're over 70, do you have breasts? They didn't fall off and just go down the street, right? They didn't go and aggravate the Pittsburgh Steelers. Oh, you didn't hear me say that, did you? Okay. So they didn't go up the river. But do not let your physicians tell you that you don't need your mammogram after 70 because there isn't any breast cancer in your family. Just as my sister said about her mother and her age, my grandmother, 83, had breast cancer. And her doctor had told her, oh, you need to come every 2 years or don't come at all. And she felt the lump. Speaking of lumps, not all breast cancers are lumps. You may have a red rash. You may have some reddening. You may have some dimpling. And also then you may feel a lump. So because of that, we encourage you to make sure you get your mammograms every year. With mine, it was flat as this podium, so I would have never felt anything, and I didn't have a rash. It came up on my 40th mammogram, and I was teaching breast cancer all over the country. Men, let's talk about you for a moment. Most male cancers are hereditary, generally from the mother. But sometimes we don't know where they're gonna fit in that algorithm. So even with men, you just always need to check your breasts, and that's what they are. I don't care what you call them. Just look in the mirror and make sure you don't see anything under your arms because that's breast tissue, and also on the front. You would be able to spot a lump quicker than the female because you don't have the fattiness of the tissues. Richard Roundtree just died the day before yesterday. He was a breast cancer survivor. George Lucas, film director, all the Star Wars movies, Red Tails and everything else. He's a breast cancer survivor. And also, right here in Cleveland, speaking of the Browns, American fullback Ernie Green from the Cleveland Browns played in the NFL, and he was sold to them by the Green Bay Packers in 1964. And he made us the #1 team the year that he was there. With Ernie Green, he was the first one in his family to find the lump. Found it under his arm, didn't know what it was, thought it was an ingrown hair follicle, ended up going to the doctor, and we did a male mammogram at UH on him because men do get mammograms, only if they present with something that looks like it's suspicious. So we had it done, and he had 4 sisters. His mother had not had breast cancer. No one else had breast cancer in the family but him. Within 5 years, 2 more of his sisters had breast cancer. So you never know where the flow is going to be. His mother was deceased by that time and did not know if she would have ever carried the gene or not. But one of his sisters had preceded him in death with breast cancer. He had a mastectomy. He wasn't afraid to wear pink, and he's had a wonderful journey, and he is still living. So men, make sure. With women, if you have boys, if you have men, do not negate telling them that they need to always look at their breasts. So often we coddle the girls because, well, mama had breast cancer, so my girls have to make sure they get their mammograms done on time. That's so true. But the men in the family also. Let me give you a new statistic that came out. It's been about 3 years. Everything has been verified by all your world institutions. This is new for African American women only. African American women, if your father had prostate cancer, you are at high risk for breast cancer. Reason why? The prostate gland is a hormone center for the men. So because of that, if you're the daughter, then you're at high risk for hormonal breast cancer, only in African American women. So for years, 25 plus years I've been teaching, it only comes from the mother's side. I now have to change those slides because now it can be hereditary from the father if he had breast cancer. You look at Beyonce and her dad had breast cancer. None of them have had breast cancer yet, her sister. But they had to go through the genes to make sure that they weren't carrying the gene. They have not divulged that yet, but her father, Mr. Knowles, has said he has the gene, the BRCA1 gene, meaning that he was predisposed to breast cancer as a male, but did not know where it came from, as his parents were deceased. So again, a change in breast color, nipple changes, pitting of the skin, and as she mentioned, my sister before me, every day approximately, there are 820 new cases and 120 new deaths. But I'll break it down to Ohio for you. In Ohio, I can tell you what we have going on. Breast cancer in Ohio, estimated cases for 2023. We're looking at approximately 11,200 women just in the state of Ohio will have breast cancer this year. Out of that, it would be almost estimated 1,600 deaths. So with that in mind, that's 31 new cases a day in Ohio that we discover. Out of those, 5 deaths per day. So what did I say? Get your mammogram done every year that you're alive. I tell, when I go to my seniors, a lot of them, well, I can't find my breasts, sis. Like my grandmother said, she called them breasts, sis. I said, you may not be able to find them, but we'll find them for you. So there's no excuse. And I'm like her, you'll get that one on Monday. But in summary, healthy eating. We had a very healthy meal today. I'm really proud when it's healthy. And also, limit your alcohol intake. American Cancer Society will tell you that you need a glass of wine a day. That's a glass of wine, not the whole bottle all at one time. 1 glass per day. And no, do not wait till Friday when you're home alone and you have your favorite movie and you just decide to drink the whole bottle in one day. That's 1 glass a day. Cut out smoking. Smoking is linked to breast cancer. You think that it's only linked to the lungs, but it is not. It is linked to breast cancer. So with that in mind, if you have any questions, I'll be here for a little bit. You have some information on when to get your screenings done that I believe are at your tables on top of the bags. And for those screenings, we also included men, and we'll tell you when to get your pap smear, when to get a low-dose lung scan, because you've been a smoker for over 20, 30 years. And even if you quit 10 years ago, you're still at high risk for lung cancer. Lung cancer, breast cancer, often they go together. So with that in mind, what are you going to do at age 40? Did I hear 5 people say it? What are you going to do at age 40? Men, what are you going to do? Check. Look in the mirror at your breasts. Okay? Thank you. Have a great day. I did that one time.
Oh, sorry. Thank you so much from Katrina from University Hospital. We bring her here every year and she always comes up and she gives us more information every year. Thank you so much. So now we have our final speaker. We have Carolyn Mills from Building and Housing.
Hello, everyone. Kelly tricked me. She told me I was going to do a lunch and learn. That would be a limited number of people. I don't know how I'm gonna follow those two, but all I can tell you is my story. Yes. And I am freshly new at this. As a matter of fact, tomorrow morning, I will have my port removed. I just completed radiation on September the 21st. I completed chemotherapy on May the 4th. This journey is something different because not only does it mess with your innards, it messes with your outward. And you have to become such a strong person to be able to deal with your physical changes, your inward health changes, and all of that. But I had such a great village. My husband, right here, thank you, Carlos, for everything that you've done for me. I had great family support. I had great City of Cleveland employee support. My coworkers, my boss, everybody was there for me and going through whatever. I still managed to come to work. I have terrible times at times, but they were so supportive, everybody. So I'll just tell you how my story started, and I prayed over myself every day. I found a verse, and I prayed this scripture over me every day. Jesus said unto Carolyn, go thy way, as thou hast believed, so be it done unto thee. And Carolyn was healed that same self-hour. I tell myself that daily. Even with the residual pains and stuff that I still have today, I know that I am healed. Been healed, walked through the healed. Even though Kelly tricked me, I told her that the Lord did not heal me to hide my light under a lamp, and that I needed to share that with everybody else, and that you are able to just do whatever it is you need to do. But anyway, it was 4th of July, and I was hosting a event, 4th of July at the house. And earlier that day, I'm just like the first one who came up and said, she's a self-checker. I was a self-checker. And I felt a lump, and I have a niece that's a nurse, and I told her, I said, hey, you need to come and feel this. So I let her feel it. I let everybody at the cookout feel it. Like, we needed to know what was going on. So I finally was able to get in, and they had me come back for another biopsy, and maybe by November they had told me that it was triple negative breast cancer. And just like the first one who said it was positive, I was like, ooh, negative, we ain't got nothing. Well, triple negative means that it is not hormone driven. They don't know what causes it. It's 15 to 20% of women have triple negative, more for younger women and more for blacks and Hispanic women. I took my daughter with me on my first visit, and when that lady started telling me all the stuff that I needed to do, my daughter looked at me and she said, I know you're about to bolt, aren't you? And I said, nope, I am going to see this journey through, because I'm already healed. I knew I was already healed, but I knew that I had to go through this process so others could see God's miraculous works, because I am certainly a standing miracle. And every treatment that I had, every chemo that I went to, we had church in here. We was just not going in there having somebody put something in my port. We had church. They told me if we had every patient that came in here like you, we would love our jobs even more so. I'm still healing. I'm still walking in this. It's still fresh. It's still fresh. However, I realized that I'm a lot stronger than I thought I was, that I'm able to endure, but it's only because of God. It's not because of anything that I did. So I just wanted to share with everybody that I'm terrified to be standing up here talking, never done it in my life. But, I mean, I was a cheerleader once, but that's not the same. I was out there clowning. But to be able to talk to people and let them know, get your breast checked. And I will say to Tony Allen, I will change my language and what I say. I used to tell Tony, and I don't know if I can say this out loud and in public, that when, I won't say it, Tony, that when I was first diagnosed, I would tell her, there's nothing wrong with my little itty bitty. And she would say breast. And I was like, okay. But I never firmly believed that there was anything wrong with it. But God knows. And He had already healed me. And I just want to say thank you, and I'm going to make it back to my seat.
All right, let's give another round of applause for all of our wonderful guest speakers. So now we would also like to acknowledge this year's honorees for your courage and strength. So when I call your name, if you could just please stand real quick. Stephanie Ashford, Sophia Bill, Ursula Harris, Kimberly Johnson, Leisha Law, April Lacker, Lisa Matthews, Carolyn Mills, Tracy Newman, Betty Sullivan, Angela Triplett, and Pandora Ward. At the end of the luncheon, if you all want to come up and we can do a group photo with all the honorees. And if you want to do photos with your departments and employees. We would also, Wellness Works would also like to thank, and the Department of Human Resources would also like to thank all of you for attending today's luncheon and supporting our survivors. We would also like to thank our guest speakers again, our sponsors, our volunteers, our committees that helped us, and for donating all your time today, especially today, for helping to make this event a success. I have some announcements real quick. So tomorrow is our pink out, so don't forget to wear your pink. And if your department is, if you have a group photo, you can check the program guide. Your department's time is listed in that. If you don't have a department time, take some selfies and send it to Wellness Works, and we'll put it in our email blast. We have our domestic violence. We're still taking donations for our domestic violence. We have a donation box at room 121 and in the mail room, which is in the basement of City Hall. The Department of Public Utilities, they have donation boxes at all of their locations. And we also have the mobile mammogram coming on Friday, November 10th. So if you need to schedule an appointment, just contact Wellness Works and we'll schedule your appointment for you. This concludes our luncheon. Thank you again for attending today's event.